Hey everyone! It's been a while and we wanted to take a moment to be real with you guys on why you haven't heard from us in a while. While we have been quite busy with work, our recent run at the poker tournaments hasn't been performing well and it's been taking quite a mental toll on us as well. Welcome back! So this last poker tournament, it really took a toll on us. For this trip, we were down a total of about 15,000 RM, which is not even close to our biggest loss in this other video. To be honest, it wasn't really about the money, but it was everything else.
It's quite tiring. 7 out of 160 is not bad, but the price is really little.
Oh, how do I deal with downswings?
Yeah, in general.
It's not easy, but I would say important to have balance with poker and other things, and I think naturally that'll help with dealing with losing poker.
So I'm done for my mystery bounty turbo event. After the break, first hand, kings, I 3-bet and shove all in. Kings versus aces, death on arrival after the break, so good break. And now Jess is left in the game with a massive stack. Hopefully he can win this for us, turn this trip around. It's been a pretty rough trip so far. I just feel like you're losing everything, But here's our hope. Let's do it. Win it for us. Okay, there's 59 players left and 23 in the money. Top price is 18,300.
So here, join me, sweat with me. I opened under the gun +2 to 5.5k, folded to the small blind, a very aggressive player who was a chip leader just a few orbits ago. He raised here to 20k and the big blind called and I called 20k too. Here, join us as we sweat the action. The flop comes Jack 10-7 rainbow. The small blind checks. The big blind jams, he's remaining 5k and I called. Now here the big blind comes over the top with a check raise to 30k and he has about 40k behind. I decided to flat call. Turn is a 6 and he thinks of wow. As you can see here, he's cutting out his chips, thinking about it, before finally deciding to go all in for 30k. Here I happily confirmed that he was all in before calling off with 9-8 suited for the nuts. We are fading a bigger flush draw and a full house, but the queen on the river was no help to both. Here we get a nice double up and more. Literally 2 hands later, I woke up with ace-king and after a pre-flop raising war, finally got it all in against the kings. Despite a promising flop where I had the nut flush draw and the ace, I did not improve to give my opponent a nice double up. So here we had a reshuffle where in the final 3 tables we were reshuffled and 1 away from the money. So this is bubble time. A middle position shoved a fairly big 20 big blind stacks. There was some drama as a small blind player seemed to ask for a count and then claimed the dealer did not stop the time while he was counting. Anyway, after the whole drama, I put in my chips and I was happy to call it off with ace-king. We held here and now we are 1 away from the money.
Yes. Double up. Okay. Hey, we are in the money. It's casual call.
If you call, I'll go on.
Okay, now everyone gets a bounty. And the bounty starts.
Now finally we are in the money. Let's go! So here I have ace-9 diamonds against a very aggressive player on my right. He raised a flop and he did a small c-bet on an ace-2-4 flop. Of course here I called and he checked the turn. After picking up the flush draw, I made a bet of 50k which he called. The river was a jack and he checked again. Here I check realizing I can't get worse to call, and he showed ace queen and we took a sizable hit to our stack. Here, under the gun player goes all in. She's quite tight, so she definitely has a strong hand, or maybe she's just avoiding before paying the bounty next. Anyway, feeling a bit tilted from my crazy draw with no small stacks, this was actually the only bounty I could take. I decided to gamble a bit and call this pre-flop. Flop was queen 2-2 with 2 hearts, and the cut-off made a tiny bet of 15k. Then, on the turn, she bet 20k. While I felt she was fishing, I felt my 2 cards were good if I hit my pair, so I was quite priced in and made the call. With the 4 river, it went check check, and she showed 3-3 to best the ace king of the under the gun and my king 8. Here I was playing with a familiar face from an earlier table. He loves to play his big ace as a race, and so in this hand, when I hit my deuce on the 10-8 deuce board, I was confident I had the best hand. I jammed my 38k stack, and when I faded a snap call, I knew I was good. After a while, he finally decided to put his chips in, showing ace-9, as I expected, and we held.
Picture. Yes. Nice double up.
Wow, shit.
All in with a deuce pair. Nice. Okay, we are in the final table. Final 9, finally. First final table of the series. Better get it, man. This is our chance. Momo, Ho, Phil. Let's do it. Let's go on you.
Here we are at the final table, and the final table chip leader was hyper aggressive. Stay tuned as he would be the one that knocked me out later. Anyway, here we went into a pre-flop raising war. He raised, I 3-bet, and he made a massive 4-bet jam. With aces, I happily obliged. And as you can see from the flop, very clean flop, no runner turn, and we got a much needed double. Always nice to have the opponent draw dead on the turn. Here, now everyone was fairly short stacked. It's a turbo event after all, and I was facing a 130k open jam from the middle position. I looked down at pocket sixes in the button. Here was quite player specific. If you recall, like my better with my ace-9 suited earlier with this quite aggressive Korean player, I went with my beat and made the call. I wouldn't do this without the bounty game, but in the bounty game, the payout favors actually the bounty draw, and you have to take the risk. So here I made the call, and thankfully we held. Picked up our first bounty and gave it to JD to draw for us.
First bounty. I help you draw? Yay! First bounty. Okay, I'm gonna help him draw. Okay, open your face. We are left with... Still in a hand. 1,000.
Now I'm building my stack, and quite comfortably top 2 biggest stacks. So here the UTG was short stack and open jam a fairly small stack. IV jam as a chip leader with queen 9 suited. The big blind was miserable and he was thinking for a long time, but finally decided to call. I was hoping for a fold and he showed an A7 suited. The flop was amazing. It gave me a straight flush draw and I was the favorite, but unfortunately it broke. This is a big turning point as I would have won another 2 bounties and have a big chip lead, but instead I took a big hit to my stack.
We are 4 players left. 6,700 locked up. Let's go.
And here this is the final hand. 4-handed left, I was second in chips, and it is against the chip leader who was quite aggressive. I looked down at pocket sixes. I decided to go all in with about slightly under 20 big blinds. He snap call with king 3 diamonds, so I guess he knew something that I didn't. Looking at this flop, we are going to need to fade some serious cards, but unfortunately we do not fade anything, and the diamond on the turn leave us drawing dead. Just to rub salt in the wound, the king on the river, he would have won anyways. So I crashed out in 4th place here, definitely run good to be in this position, so can't complain. But at the same time, can't help but feel if I had won this race here, I was quite sure I was going to win the tournament. Oh well, on to the next one.
Yay, we came in 4th with 1 bounty.
So yeah, my pocket sixes couldn't hold against king 3. So we are Basto in 4th. If not, I would have a big chip lead.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Our first cash.
First final table.
Our first final table and our first 4th. Not bad. Tomorrow we fight better.
Tired.
Okay, we are at our last mystery bounty table and 15 players left, so we are in the money with 1000 RM locked up and 14,500 up tops. And we have the top bounty, which is 10,000, and Jess is still in the game.
Here, nearing the bubble and facing an aggressive chip leader button race, I decided to take a stand and jam my ace-2. Big blind rejam, folding out the initial raiser, the button, and thankfully my ace-2 won the race against king 9. I turned the straight and got a much needed double. That helped me navigate safely to the final table.
We are at our second final table. Second FT.
Final tables.
Let's win it now. Let's win it this time. We are at our second final table for today. Ship it, bring the big bounty
Today
and the
have to,
first prize and the trophy.
Save our trip.
Yes! Yay!
So yesterday we had final table out of 160 and we got 4th. Today we can get
First notable hand of the final table, I raised to 2 big blinds in middle UTG plus 2 position with pocket sixes and the button jam for 5 big blinds. Of course I had to call, but get shown the bad news that I needed a lot of help against a pocket kings. This one I couldn't pull a 6 out of the window, I couldn't pull a 6 out, so took a hit to a stack here. After that, I was pretty short stacked and I jammed ace-3 diamonds having about 5 big blinds. This is where I wonder if I could have been a bit better studied in the ICM situation and make a fold, but then again with a big blind coming up, I don't think it was the worst EV play. Unfortunately, someone behind me woke up with ace-9 suited and covered me by half a big blind. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wrapped up our tournament and our trip.
So we played 7, our ace-3 lost to ace-9. This time we were behind, yesterday we were in front and couldn't hold, today we were behind, couldn't catch up. It's quite tiring. 7 out of 160 is not bad, but the price is really little, so we'll collect our price and then go and sleep.
How
That's
much is
tournament
it?
poker. It's like 3,000 or something, very small.
It's like 4 AM.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
For this series, we actually made 2 deep runs. In fact, we made 2 final tables of a fairly sizable 120-150 person tournament, but yet we're still down. And that's the brutal truth about tournament poker. It's like you can play your hearts out, you can do everything right, you can stay disciplined, you can make the best bluffs, best folds, but at the end of the day, it's still down to a flip. And I don't like to make excuses. My mantra is always that you should always not blame the last flip that you were knocked out by, but why you did not cover the opponent. But for example, for the last final table of the mystery bounty, there were 5 players left in the whole tournament, and I was second in chips, and this chip leader was calling and shoving very wide, so I decided to shove with pocket 6 in mid position, knowing that he probably doesn't have a strong hand, and he decided to make the call with king 4 suited, which 20 big blinds is, I don't think is the right call. And of course he made the flush and went on to win the tournament. So cases like this, you know, you really look back and wonder if I could play anything differently. And yeah, sometimes it's tough as well, right? And if I felt that I made the best possible play, which in this case, I don't think I would regret. I even checked the GTO solvers, I don't use that much, and and even the solver said that pocket sixes is a shaft leg position. So as much as I tried to be reflective this tournament, I look back at a lot of the hands that we played, and I'm sure you guys would have felt the same as well, where you had big pocket pairs like kings, queens, and you had to call like a crazy shove, and the guy had like an ace 10 offsuit, ace 5 suited, you know, that kind of back hand, and of course the guy will hit the ace, right? So it felt like I had this for 4 to 5 times this tournament. Some were quite actually deep, so like almost playing for 4-5 hours, and then your pocket queens or kings get cracked by ace 5, right? So that's a terrible feeling. To get in good and walk away with nothing, that's mentally and physically tiring. And unfortunately, unlike cash game, where if you felt the player is like someone that you would play with all day long and you can buy in again, in tournaments, after you crash out, you're out, right? You can't buy back in to match the guy's stack. I mean, of course you could rebuy, but you'll be at starting stack again, and you know, who knows whether you'll be playing your A game then, right? So it's quite different that way. And that's a variance about tournament poker. So, but unfortunately, if it happens one time too many, then it drains you quite a bit, which in this case it did.
Today is the day we are gonna win mystery bounty and the tag team event.
Yep, let's do it.
That's 2 trophies to add to our collection. Right, we are all ready, rest up. Let's fight. Okay, so we just signed up for the teams events. Basically, you team up in pairs, and every level you get to choose who to play. So you can either like maybe one player play throughout, or you can just swap around. Maybe if he's on tilt, then I come.
But you have to wait until the level is over, so you can't
Yeah.
swap like halfway through.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, we are seated down. Currently there's 12 players, so there's 2 tables.
So this is a team discussion hand. Like if you have a big decision, you can use this to discuss.
And we have 2 of that. Make use of it. It's okay, we got telepathy, we don't need.
So for the team event, I sat down early on, and very friendly guy, he was chatting, he was raising, he was putting his money in. He made a big overbet on the flop with a king 9-2 rainbow. Holding king queen, I called it off and was lucky to be up against king jack. 2 blank cards, and we started the tournament with a much welcome early double up and slowly started chipping up.
Swapping into the hot seat here, I raised pre-flop with queen 10 suited and the button called, and we went heads up to a flop of ace jack 7 rainbow. I checked and the villain checked back. Looking back here, I don't really like my play, as I should probably have c-bet on the flop, but we were out of position and I felt that he would most probably call any. Turn was a 6. I bet about half pot size now. The villain had a discussion with his partner and decided to shove his remaining stack of 5k behind. I don't like this spot, but I caught with a gut shot because we were 2 pot committed at this point. Seeing that he had just a jack pair now, I don't really know why they decided to shove. Maybe they saw through my bluff and felt their jack was good. Nice play on their end. This was another interesting hand. I raised pre-flop with 4-5 suited and mid-position 3-bet behind. We went heads up to a flop of 10-7-8 rainbow, and we checked through to the turn, which was the 8 of clubs. I bet about half pot now and the villain called. River was a 9. Going with my read that the villain has not much connected with this board, maybe some big ace, I overbet 10k into a 7k pot, because this is my range and I did not come all this way to showdown with 5 high. Villain used the team discussion card again.
So they are using the team discussion hand, facing a 10k bet.
And after much deliberation and discussion, also mentioning in Chinese that I showed a bluff in the previous hand with the other team, they decided to keep me honest and we lost a big one here. To my surprise, he had 1 card straight to the jack, and I was right about him having a big ace, but didn't consider the possibility of ace jack. Seems like everyone was making good use of their team discussion cards, except us, and it hasn't been beneficial to our play so far.
So this was an interesting hand. I wasn't in, but I raised first in to 2.4k with ace queen suited. Under the gun plus 2 raised to 6k, and the big blind went all in for just under 12k. I decided there was no way I was ahead against 2 opponents and made a disciplined laydown. Interestingly, the flop came ace queen 2. I would have lost to the 12k shove, but I would have won the king's full stack. So overall, I would have been a bit better off, but no regrets for folding the ace queen suited here. This was an interesting hand that I wanted to share with you to get your thoughts. So pre-flop, I had 10-9 of diamonds on the button and raised. Small blind made a standard 3 times raise, pretty standard call here. The flop was queen 10-6, 2 spades and 1 diamond. He made a continuation bet, which I caught with mid pair and a bunch of backdoors. Turn was an 8 of diamonds, giving us a straight and flush draw. And here's where things got a bit weird. He downbet 6k into a pot of 20k. Is he trying to buy the pot for cheap? Or does he want to reel me in with something like pocket 8s or 7-9 type of hand? I had about 26k behind and decided I can't get better hands to fold, so I decided to go with a call. Now the river was a 5 and he quickly moved all in. I have a bluff catcher here. I guess I beat most of the flush draws like ace 5, ace 4 of spade. I beat ace king with the ace of spades and a bunch of random pairs that turn into a bluff. I also lose to sets, darts, straights. So in the end, I think it was fairly close, not a straightforward fold given the amount in the pot already. But I decided that the 6k bet on the turn seemed like it was a reeling bet after all. And given my live reads, I decided to let this one go. What do you think? Did I make a good fold or should I have paid him off? In any case, well played to the opponent. Here, the UTG raised and I 3-bet pre-flop. The flop was queen 9-2 with 2 clubs. Opponent checks to me and I made a tiny C bet of 1.5k into 6k. He decided that's not enough and min clicks it back to 3k. Okay, that's interesting. Like to me, that looks like a queen or a flush draw. Time to go for max value and I 4-bet back to 7.5k. He decided to push his remaining stack in. Thankfully, he had the queen, which was good news compared to a flush draw, and we held for this one.
In this hand, Punnat was the pre-flop raiser on the button. Small blind called and we caught in the big blind with some junk like 9-5 suited. I don't really remember, but doesn't really matter at this point. The flop was king 3. We both checked through to Punnat and he checked in last position. Turn was a 5. It's our time to wrap the king and steal the pot. So we bet. And it felt really good to take it down against the pro. Okay, it's break time and we have 24 big blinds-ish.
The pros and pros discussing versus all of us. So we make the final table of the team event.
Okay, we are moving to our final table.
And we got the worst seat in the house. Look who's here.
We're all in him. Punnat is considering and he needs a discussion.
Here on the final table, I thought this hand was quite interesting. I went for a range raise. What that means is the UTG raiser is quite capped when he checked the Jack 7-6 boards. And when he decided to lead out a small bet on the 8 turn, that did not make much sense since I could have most of the straights or the dubs. I went for a raise here and thankfully took it down. And opened Queen Jack suited under the gun, and Punnat and friend decided to finally go all in for their tournament life. Looks like a pretty strong hand. UTG plus 2 then decide to go all in as well, and mid position also went all in. What is going on? At this point, we use our very first discussion card because why waste it if it's going to be there, right? So we figured that our goal was to go for the win, quadruple up. Queen Jack is definitely behind, but the question is whether we have a live card and the flush draw and straight draw is live. So we decided to go for the win, and we also covered everyone, so we would not have bust if we lost.
What was it? You need a discussion? Use lah. Never use.
We got club.
We got out diamonds.
Diamond.
Diamonds. 4 away.
Come on,
Diamond.
Unfortunately, despite a promising flop, we did not get any help on the river, and so we were severely crippled after this hand.
Oh, 4-way never hit.
Oh,
Now
so
we will
close.
have the massive chip lead.
I saw 9 diamonds.
So many outs.
And not too long later, we woke up with King Queen off in the big blind, and facing an under the gun race, decided to put our remaining stack in. Unfortunately, this time he had the goods, he had the ace queen to dominate us, and we failed to find the king, and we bust out 2 or 3 places away from the money.
A little bit about the payout structure. It didn't really help us as well. Most tournaments, they have quite a deep rake of 15%. On top of that, additionally, you have to pay about 5 to 8% in taxes. So that's about 20% off the prize pool already to start with. And so you have to be really good to beat that kind of rake and taxes.
And there's also, in this case, this series, they introduced this mystery big bounty. So there's additional variance for that, right? What it means is that it's kind of a lucky draw where, all the games have a mystery big bounty where you can draw, and that allows you to draw a huge bounty of like 200k. But for these kind of formats, like, it benefits maybe the lucky few, and for the rest, it takes another chunk out of the prize pool. So we went deep a few tournaments and even put a few bounties, but they were all small. So that also meant that when we went deep this time, like, the payout wasn't great because a fair chunk went to the tournament rake, the government rake, and also a mystery bounty payout. So at the end of the day, like, in a normal case, you would probably expect to get much higher if you finish 5 out of 150 players. But in this case, it was like 5 times the buy-in, which was not a lot, right? It doesn't cover the other bullets that you fire.
Yeah, even if you make it to the final table, you barely make back your buy-in. So after firing multiple buy-ins, right? Overall, we have been really reflective and thinking if we are even good enough to beat the tournament structure and the rake. I only made 1 min cash this series and he made 2 final tables, so I guess we choose to think that we are not that bad after all. Maybe we were 1 flip away from getting the trophy and the big prize, and 1 pull away from getting the bounty. But yeah, until then, we have been feeling pretty down. So if you ever felt crushed by the game like us, if you ever ask yourself whether it's worth it, we hope this resonates with you. It's not all about the glamour and the wins, right? But it's also a lot about the emotional aspect, the emotional control when things don't go your way, when you're losing flips. We also tell ourselves to keep showing up, to keep having fun, and I hope that you guys will do the same, and let's grow together, let's improve together. Share with us your experience if you are facing any downswings like us. How do you cope with downswings? Yeah, we would love to hear from you. Comment down below.
Yeah, and we certainly have a newfound respect for poker players who can do this day in, day out. Actually, as we sit here, the WSOP Vegas just finished. I follow a few of the poker players, and seeing how they can show up every day, putting in 12-hour sessions, a few days, and sometimes even busting without a single cash, that really gave us a newfound respect for tournament players.
Yeah.
So to all the players who are going to the upcoming poker series, we wish you all the best of luck. May the cards run in your favor.
Yes! Manifest!
So we have with us the high roller Chapu and Punnat.
I made a guest call here 2 days ago. I played the Super High Roller at the first event of the Songkran Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stole bubble yesterday.
So no.
It's sad, yeah. It looked like a high variance line, but I shouldn't. It's okay.
Okay.
Good warm up prior to the
Go big one.
coming series. Yeah.
So good luck for the rest of the... What are you buying in for now?
I rebuy the high roller.
I will, okay. Good luck. Hopefully after this video, you can tell us that you won.
We are with Michael Soyza.
Hi,
Co-founder of APT.
I've seen some of your stuff on YouTube. Yes.
Thank you.
You're doing quality assurance for APT, making sure you see good stuff.
Thank you.
What games did you play today?
15,000 high roller, bullet number 3. I just bought it after dinner.
Okay.
So 3 bullets in 2 hours in 1 hour. Yeah.
Wish you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you can, after this video, you hit the final table.
Hopefully you guys do well also.
Thank you so much.
First day, so yeah, I took 2 bullets today.
And are you in the money already?
No.
Also, you're trying tomorrow again?
Trying tomorrow, yeah.
Okay. So do you normally pay cash or tournament?
Background was mostly cash, but been trying to play more tournaments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, combine it with some travel and You
I
know,
see.
yeah, first time in Malaysia, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Very nice, very nice.
Oh, how do I deal with downswings?
Yeah, in there.
It's not easy, but I would say, actually I just did a video about this. About,
Yeah, I actually watched your
balances.
videos. I watched your videos,
Like
yeah.
it's important to have like balance with poker and like other things, and I think naturally that'll help with dealing with losing poker. So
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what we are
Outside,
chilling, yeah.
chilling.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why I'm traveling too. I'm fun over here. So.
But hey, we do this as part of the process and the journey, and we are learning throughout as well. We try to trust the process, to study more, to even discuss about hands just to improve ourselves along the way. What kept us happy in this trip is really to also revisit Genting again. We love Genting. And we also got to meet some of our idols at Genting. And we also got to meet many of you, our viewers, who said hi to us. Thanks for doing that. It was really encouraging meeting you guys. Many of you tell us that you love our content, love our videos, so that really motivates us to make better content and don't give up. So we won't be doing that just yet.
We are switching gears back to Vegas, our first love location, our first love cash games, where the vibes are good, the rake is not too bad. The cash game is probably the best in the world, we were researching.
Yep.
And we realized that Vegas is the best in the world, free drinks, free food. The best part is that this time around we actually ran better and we snapped our losing streak. So we recovered this tournament loss and a few others before. So stay tuned for that.
Yay! As always, thanks so much for watching our videos, for encouraging us, and for subscribing, and also for sticking around with us for so long. We got a lot more content coming up your way, so stay tuned for that. And we are going to post more regularly moving forward, so see you in the next one. Bye bye!